5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Fire team ban. OG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team ban. OG's turn to ban.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome all. Best of 3. It's between OG and the final tribe. It is, of course, Michael Phoenix, joined by the one and only Mr. John X Fire. John, it's late night for us. I believe it's, what is it, 3 a.m. for you? And it's 5 a.m. for me right now?
Yeah, it's 2 a.m. for me, Mike, and, I'm feeling great. It's, today's actually the Chinese New Year, so anyone out there that celebrates Gongxi Fachai, hope you guys have a prosperous year ahead. And, we're going to have a really auspicious game ahead of us today, Mike.
Yeah, and for anyone wondering, this is the English stream, not the Chinese stream, so don't get too confused with what John just said. John, what the hell does that mean?
It's something like "wish you prosperity." It's a common greeting for it's a common greeting for the New Year, Mike.
And it's the year of the dog. Is that correct?
Yes, Mike. It is the year of the dog. So if you were a dog, if you were born in the year of the dog, you should have a pretty auspicious year ahead. But let's move aside from the astrology, Mike. We've got a game here.
Well, thank you very much for that, John. We do have OG now. We were talking about this just before the game started, how they do seem to like first picking the Rubik, and long behold, John, there's a Rubik pickup immediately coming out from this side.
Yeah, I mean, OG's been picking up that Rubik for a while. There was a series they played just recently in the close qualifier where they did open with that Rubik twice in that series. So, it's something they go back to. It's a very stable first pick. It works well. In first picking it doesn't really show too much to your enemy, and you can definitely work whatever your opposing team picks against you, which it looks like it's already paying off. The Rubik is picked in they picked the Ancient Apparition and the Sand King into the Rubik, and just from that the Rubik has a lot of utility coming out.
Yeah, it's one of those picks, right, with the Rubik, where if you first pick it, like, the other team really has to think to themselves, all right, they've got a Rubik now. We don't want to give away any good abilities that that Rubik's going to be able to use with no cast point, mind you. So he's going to be able to use it better than the actual hero himself, or herself for that matter. And I mean, OG, they continue to do this, and it looks like the final tribe, they're not really afraid of this Rubik. They just go, screw it. We're just going to do what we know and what we like. But it is one of those things where it does make you think a bit, and we have seen teams kind of really go weird with the draft because they don't want to give anything away. So, I mean, kudos to the final tribe for not actually doing that and saying, screw that, we're still going to pick the AA Sand King, even though there's some amazing abilities to pick up there anyway. And then we see a Chen come out, and it makes you wonder, you've already got a position 5 in the Rubik. Is this going to be an off-lane Chen that we keep seeing Ice 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 do, or are they going to run like a position 4?
Now, I do believe, Ice 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 does pull a mean off-lane Chen, but I believe OG actually does run it as a traditional support. So that's the support duo coming out from OG, the Rubik and the Chen. A lot of early game potential coming out from them, but at the same time, the final tribe also has a decent duo with the AA and the Sand King. Good potential combos for ganking there early on. Hold feet into the stun, hold down someone for a long time. At the same time, the Rubik and Chen, as I mentioned, you lift someone up, drag them back to whatever Chen dominated creep there is, and it's also a fairly clean gank. So fairly good openings from both teams. They both work out fairly well, really strong in the laning phase, and it opens up your draft. It really doesn't lock them into anything too hard just yet.
No, I really do like these picks. Yeah, if there's one thing you can pin EU for, is they tend to choose really interesting heroes, right? Like, we don't see the whole Naga Disruptor garbage that we see over and over again, John. We see these exciting heroes. Like, we want to see Burrow Strikes. We want to see Epicenters. We want to see Ice Blasts. I want to see Rubik steal all those and use it against the other team. I want to see a Chen microing like he's playing StarCraft 2. I don't want to see these damn, sleeps and static storms. And this is what you're going to give to EU. They're actually entertaining as hell. And they're not afraid to try different things. And especially with these two teams, where the players are so skilled and their hero pools are so large, I just think we're in for an amazing series.
Yeah, we definitely are, Mike. I mean, the Final Tribe, they are a pretty renowned team themselves. A lot of old names there that have been playing quite well. They have a rich history in the scene. Of course, this lineup is fairly fresh together, I believe, or at least under this flag, but I do believe all of them have played with each other at some point beforehand. And, OG's OG, the old kings of the majors. Well, of course, kind of changed up lineup, but overall the same. I believe, they do have resolution in it. Most people seem to say that they've not performed up to par in major events. I feel like maybe that's down to the patch. Maybe, it's just some fatigue coming out after a really extended amount of time playing. But they've been doing very well in these close qualifiers so far, Mike.
Did you just call them the old kings of the majors?
Yeah.
You couldn't say original gangsters of the majors or something like that. I mean, their name's OG. They have Big Daddy No Tail who loves rap music. And you went with old kings. That's the best you could do. We're on stream right now, John. There's thousands of people watching us. We're in a competition right now. And the best you could come up with was old kings.
Well, original gangsters was, it's a low-hanging fruit. Although, OG is OG.
Thank you for that, John. We'll talk about this after the series. Lycan will be the third pickup for the Final Tribe, and John, you know how much I love this hero. Now, let me take over here, John. The Lycan, it's just such a fantastic hero, right? You've got the Wolves, nothing too special in the early game. The passive is ridiculous, though. The Feral Impulse, I believe it's called. The fact that you never have to leave the lane because you've got this crazy HP regen as well as the bonus attack damage. Then you've got the Howl. You're going to help your whole team out, as well as any minions you have. And then you've got the Lycan form, the Wolf form, I should say. The hero can do everything. You want him in a team fight, he can team fight. And you're never going to catch him. You want him to split push, he can split push. Like, there's nothing this hero cannot do. And you've seen me do it many times, John. I'll finish games in 15 minutes with this damn hero. It's just fantastic.
It really is it's a very popular core. It fits into the meta quite well. I believe we've seen it go in and out from these past closed qualifiers. Certain regions kind of not favoring it, other regions kind of, still picking it up. But it still does work. As you mentioned, it is a very potent hero. It comes online very fast. It really just wants... It's level 6, a Dominator, and maybe, some Necrobooks to start that push. But OG, pick up something we don't see too often nowadays, although it does pop out every now and again. The Center Warrunner, Mike. Man, now that's a fun hero.
John, I never understood why the hell this hero isn't there anymore. We're seeing this meta where you need to go, pull a creep wave straight off the bat, at the 1 minute mark and pull it back to your tier 1 tower. So generally, you need a pretty tanky hero, right? You see a lot of team fight going on in this meta so that you can take a team fight, push objectives. If there's any hero that is great for that, it's this man right here. He has a great stun, he has a free nuke, at the cost of his HP, and he's tanky as hell to kill. Like, it's just so hard. And the Stampede is just fantastic for initiation. I never understood why he was out of the meta, right? And we might find out this game. The Final Tribe might give me a reason to understand why that is, but I do like this pick. I think, the side of OG, they're going something very early. They want to get the aggression going very quickly, and once that Centaur Warrunner is level 6, and maybe when he's got the blink, it's just going to mean it's going to be a really hard time for the Final Tribe, I feel.
Yeah, it really will be. I mean, the Centaur pick into the Lycan is actually really good. You can definitely chase down that Wolf. Once you're level 6, just hit R when the Lycan hits R, and you both end up chasing each other for quite a fair bit. The Final Tribe, picks up the Tusk. Now, this is a hero they tend to go back to a lot, and it is a very solid hero. I mean, they run it quite a fair bit. I believe in the last series they played, they actually picked it every single time in their draft. So it's a hero they favor and does a lot of work. In combination with the AA, it does a lot. Like, the ganking potential is really strong with the Tusk and the Ancient Apparition. It's very easy to lock someone down, put them out of position, and just get easy pickings.
Yeah, I do like the Tusk. And with the AA, you know, it's that combination. You roll in, you shards, you use the cold feet, they're stuck. It's an easy kill. It's a great combo they've got going here, the support duo, and OG pull out the lone druid. My goodness. Perhaps, you know, maybe a bit of a shout out to the Bulldog himself. I mean, it is the year of the dog, John. It is the year of the dog. And maybe OG. I mean, this could be a hidden message. You know, I've just uncovered something. OG, want to shout out to Bulldog because it's the year of the dog, so happy Lunar New Year or Chinese Year, whatever it is. And they've picked up the lone druid. Now, I like this, John. I don't know how much it's going to be able to offer for the side of OG. I mean, it's a great hero. I guess you've got no way to deal with the bear right now. Like, there's no particular way to get rid of it. But ultimately, what does it do for OG right now?
I think the Lone Druid's a pretty neat pickup. It does take a while to go online, but if you depend on the bear to lock down Lycan, I mean, it's not the most, you know, stable lockdown. It procs on chance. But if you can get that root in Lycan when he's in wolf form, he can't run away. So it's good for that. It's a great pusher by itself. It does a decent amount of work in a team fight, depending on how you kit him up. But we've seen a lot of Lone Druid plays come out, and, you know, it's very objective-oriented, Mike. A lot of times when team fight's happening, when that Lone Druid has his Ags, that bear will just do work in the other side of the map. And, you know, in the middle of a team fight, they lose a Rax, maybe even. So that potential's there for OG now as well, with that Lone Druid pickup.
And the Storm Spirit to finish off. Okay, so I didn't feel like there was a particular reason to choose the Storm, but I suppose against the Lycan, you know, once you're up and running, once you've got the Bloodstone and whatever the hell else you get, it's great, right? Like, you'd have no issues chasing the Lycan with your ultimate, so it makes sense. It's a very aggressive draft, and it felt like they did need some kind of tempo, like a tempo control kind of hero. And so if OG, it feels like if they get a good start right now, I don't know how you stop them. But then again, on the other end, the Final Tribe, like, I'm looking at these picks, they've got great teamfight themselves, they've got great early game themselves. I mean, this is going to be a bloodbath. And honestly, and there's an Invoker now.
Okay. This is going to be exciting, Mike. I mean, you have the Storm Spirit, you have the Invoker, you've got the Lycan, the Lone Druid, the Rubik. It's going to be wild. Like, there's no hard lockdown for the Storm. And at the same time, you know, if the Invoker gets a good start, it can really get going. So we definitely have a very good game to start this new Lunar New Year, Mike.
Yeah, we do. I'm pretty excited myself. I hope the chat is excited. And by the way, what the hell's going on with this positive chat, John? Am I meant to like it or am I meant to hate it?
And you know what, Mike? Chat's like a wave, you just got to ride it.
I mean, I like the fact that they're, like, not, you know, trash talking each other, or us for that matter. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, So when they say caster does well, is that sarcastic? Or is that, you know...
Mike, look, we're good vibes here, Mike. We're good vibes in the chat. We're good vibes in the cast, and, well, just don't think about it. It's all good vibes, Mike.
Am I being that guy right now?
You are being that guy, Mike. Stop it. Stop it. I know you're Australian. That's no excuse here.
The fact that it's 5 AM in the morning and I'm suffering 30-degree heat waves. Yeah, that could be why I'm a bit upset. But anyway, John, we're about to get into the game. I do love that Invoker set, by the way. My goodness. Look at that. Beautiful, isn't it?
It really is, Mike.
If only I could play Invoker, I might have picked it up.
I wouldn't want to see that, Mike. I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't want to try seeing the MLP Invoker, but that's another topic entirely, Mike.
Yeah, well, let's get into the game and talk about that right now. On the side of OG, we have Fly. He'll be playing the Rubik. We do have the Storm Spirit being played by Resolution. Of course, the Chen will be played by Jerax. S4 will be playing the offlane Centaur. And finally, we have Big Daddy No Tail on that Lone Druid. And John, if you could please call out TFT.
Alright, on the dark side for TFT, we have Hanskin. on that Ancient Apparition, the Sand King, being played by Yonisum fan. The Lycan is being played by Frost. The Invoker being played by Era, and the Tusk is of course being played by Pablo.
There will be an early rotation coming out from OG. Of course, they will go for some wards and try to see if they can find a little pick off, but Jonas has already kind of spotted them out. He will let his team know about this. It's not like there was any smoke attempt anyway, so they did have a smoke, but opted not to use it quite yet, but that's fair enough. They do actually find the observer ward that Jerax has placed, so it's going to be a bit unfortunate for OG, but they aren't going to have that vision anymore. Be a quick D ward coming out from the final tribe. It looks like a relatively calm start. Nobody wants to take any team fights from the side of TFT, but they will end up losing one bounty rune to begin with.
It's not too big of a loss early on. I mean, they don't lose a kill. They still have the creep block to go with. It's not a major loss, really, dropping these runes. It's a nice little injection for your cores. But again, it's not too bad when it comes down to it, giving that rune away for better lane control.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. Well, we actually do look at S4 right now at the top lane. Again, doing that pull that all offlaners in the pro scene seem to be doing right now, which it makes sense, right? Like the offlane's a really hard lane in this meta. So you do get a nice little early start for yourself if you do bring them between the tier 1 and 2. And again, this is one of those things that the Centaur can do very, very easily. He's just so tanky, there's no real issues there. The bot lane actually, and we already see the Tuskar trying to go after Fly, but Pablo will get lifted and sent back. I do want to talk about this mid lane as well. We have Era up against Resolution on that Storm Spirit. So the Storm Spirit Invoker, who ultimately should be winning out this lane if they're left one-on-one.
When it comes down to it, it takes Invoker maybe a couple of levels to start matching up well, but it also takes the Storm a little bit of levels to start getting some action going as well. Interesting sentiment from Era, but it does take both of these heroes a while to really start pumping out the grass. I feel like Invoker should be able to sustain. At the same time, if Storm Spirit doesn't position himself well, he can be punished fairly easily.
Well, it looks like the problem here for Era is going to be the fact that Jerax is going to be around. That is one of the strengths of the Chen, of course. You take a creep immediately and try to help out your mid lane, or whatever lane you choose for that matter, but the mid lane is generally the most important one. And with a Storm Spirit, of course, again, you want to get that early start, you want to get the tempo going for your team. We'll rotate to the bot lane, but it looks like he's just trying to snag some bounty runes for himself. Of course, the bot lane right now, Frost versus Big Daddy No-Tail. Now, No-Tail, he seems like he's going to have a great time here, right? Like, oh, actually, we missed the first blood. Well, that's not good. That's not a good start, but it looks like they do end up getting resolution. Now, John, I'm not sure if you caught that and saw what happened, but I'm going to assume that was a shards into a snowball.
Yeah, it was. It's fairly straightforward gank, and you know, Storm doesn't quite tank through as well. I mean, Invoker does have his orbs, his bolts to help him recover in lane, just sustain a bit better, but you know, Storm Spirit doesn't have that option of using balls to stay in lane, so he has to be a bit careful.
Well, look at the mid lane right now, John. Jerax is way past the tier 2, but he will actually make a quick TP out, and the Sunstrike, it was a bit late. So Era, he did try to go for it, but perhaps should have aimed at the fountain maybe. But it is hard, you know, at that moment when you've got to react that quickly, and your team's screaming at you to Sunstrike. I mean, of course, you're just going to Sunstrike wherever the hell the enemy hero is. Jerax, of course, a fantastic position 4 player, and he is really appearing to make it difficult for Era in the mid lane, apart from the fact that they did end up killing Resolution earlier on with the Tusk.
Yeah, I mean, they're both fairly alright in the mid lane right now, besides dropping dead once, of course, for Rezo. He's still finding something in this lane. It's not like he's being bullied out. He is ahead in last hits as well. So it's not a big struggle for him.
And what I was trying to say before, I mean, I was talking about No-Tail and how he's on the lone druid right now. It doesn't feel like he's going to have a hard lane now. You see Pablo, and you also see the AA Hanskin. They are trying to gank him up constantly. you know, and run a tri-lane, but it's just not working out for them right now. They found No-Tail again. They're going to go for the shards, and they will not connect. And it's just so hard, because No-Tail knows exactly what's going on in this lane. And in fact, mid lane, it looks like Rezo's in trouble again. They will make the chase, and Jonas is there with the Burrow Strike, and they'll find another kill for him as well. S4 getting very low himself, but he will back off safely and TP back to the base. But yeah, what I was trying to say is, it looks like No-Tail is practically going to have a free lane, and almost it feels like TFT, their Lycan is going to have a slow start at this stage.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that, Mike. I mean, Frost isn't having the best laning phase. He's trailing No-Tail by a fair bit. No-Tail is leading the last hits board right now, and TFT is really investing a lot of resources on the spot lane. They have a tri-lane going on, and they're not gaining too much from it, whereas No-Tail is basically left by himself, and the OG supports are just walking around.
Speaking of walking around, they are smoked up right now, and they're going to go for Era. They need to get the lift first. They're going in. They've got the net as well. And well, with the penitence, it should be a lot of damage coming in. Era, he probably can't survive this. He will go for a Sunstrike, and it will connect. That's all he can do. Meanwhile, bot lane, No-Tail, trying to back off. The bear did end up fearing them, and he gets a lucky route as well onto the Tusk. And he'll actually man fight this. The Fade Bolt comes in as well. They did try to end up killing the bear, but it will TP out successfully and go heal up in the base. And again, you're committing 3 heroes right now to try and slow down No-Tail on this lone druid, but it's not. He's at the top of the last hits. He's not struggling at all. In fact, he's dealing more damage than they're dealing to him, and it's 3v1.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the power of the lone druid. You basically have almost like 2 heroes, even at the start. Sure, the bear isn't too scary without items, but early on, it still does a lot of damage, and it's really tanky. That's the issue. That's what makes it really hard to zone out that lone druid, is that he doesn't need to be in front. The bear just needs to be in front. Well,
they do make, I mean, what seems like the smart decision. They do rotate to the top lane now and run the tri-lane there instead. Again, though, I mean, the Lycan is one of those heroes that requires, you know, quite some fast levels as well as some fast farm. You know, you don't need that many items, but you do need them quick. Like, you want a quick Necro 3, you want a quick Helm of Dom. And at this stage, it is going to be a bit slow. S4 even comes out of the offlane now and wants to go into the mid. He does have the Stampede available, and again, the creep scouting them out right now. S4 getting into position. They will get a lift onto Era, and it looks like they'll take him down immediately. There's the Snowball. Chaos Meteor as well, but it won't connect on anyone. And Pablo right now should drop, and Jonas, he's left by himself. Nice Burrow comes out onto 3, but nobody's there to help him. S4 gets sent back to the base, and it looks like the rest will just walk off calmly. Jonas is going to continue chasing. Penitence is there though. Rezo wants to turn this around. Burrow Strike does come in as well as the lift. The Chilling Touch was there, and they will send him back again. And it's just the power of the Chen. You know, just being able to send your heroes back like that every single time. They waste so much time and give so much space to OG trying to take down one of their heroes, and everyone gets back safely.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the power of Chen. It has a lot of utility. It's very defensive, but it's also really offensive with its creeps as well. And when you manage to save your heroes like that, it really just pays off immediately.
They will find Rezo taking some stacks. Frost is there and trying to block a bit and dealing a lot of damage, although he'll just turn around apparently. Rezo wants to go for this. S4's there as well, but there's the Snowball. Frost, can he survive this? Probably not. He's running away right now, but Rezo's doing a lot of damage. And no, they send him back just beforehand. GRX maybe a bit too early, but he had to do it. The Sunstrike comes in and does get him. Very nice by Era with that positioning, but my god. I mean, you had to send the Storm back, and there's only so well you can time it. And that was slightly early, but at the same time, Rezo was getting very, very low on mana. In fact, they'll find another hoof. They found it's S4. Chaos Meteor comes in. The Shard's still blocking him in. It was perfectly placed by Pablo. Can they find this kill? Well, the Stampede is committed. S4 making a run for it, and it looks like he will back off. TP away as well, and there will be no Sunstrike coming in, so he'll be perfectly safe.
Yeah, I mean, it's really unfortunate that JRX had to send Resolution like that. The timing is just a bit off. At the same time, it's pretty high risk to leave him there when he was going to die. Like, the Chen was going to fall, so he had to cast that spell. It just so happened not enough time to get that last right click off.
Yeah, it's like you mentioned, it's not worth losing your Storm over a kill onto the Lycan. It's definitely not worth that. But if you can get away with sending him back and getting the kill, then, well, you feel a lot better, but it doesn't work out. That being said, Jerax and Fly, they smoke up immediately. And they are moving towards Frost. Jerax will run into him. It looks like they've spotted him, but I don't think Frost has actually seen them yet. Smoke did break behind the tree line, and it looks like they'll go for the tier 1 tower instead. And this makes sense, right? You've got all these creeps with you. Why the hell not just commit to this objective? You know, you saw Big Dad No Tail as well. He got the tier 1 bot. And it's like, well, with all these objectives going down, the net worth, you know, influx comes in for OG. You get ahead of TFT, and then you start taking team fights when you're ready.
Yeah, this is a really good start for OG. They've already taken the first T1. Now they take the second one as well, so they've already got a lead in terms of objectives, whereas TFT without Lycan haven't really started to push their own yet. And when you have that Lycan, when you have that Hump Dominator up, you definitely want to clear some objectives off the map.
It's one of those things, right? Like, it's almost like you need the Necros up before you can really push quickly on the Lycan. But that laning stage really slowed him down. And they're going to go for a gank onto him, it looks like. S4 is there. But no, instead they will reveal themselves. Perhaps try to apply a bit more pressure to this tier 2 tower. Meanwhile, again, all this space to No Tail right now. He's just free farming bot. And his farm is, well, he's got the Midas up. Top of the net worth. And he's going straight into that Radiance. And he's pretty much halfway, almost halfway to that Sacred Relic. So it looks like it could be about a 15-16 minute Radiance coming out on the bear as well.
Yeah, and that's a really good timing for him to have. Once that Radiance up, sure, it's not too scary just yet, but it's a start. And it's a very good start at that.
Both teams are backing off calmly. Look to the Lycan, and again, I mean, the net worth is sort of getting there, but he's below that halfway point as well. Rezo, meanwhile, we haven't spoke about him for a while. He has gone for that Kaya build. And it's getting, well, very close. He only needs about 300 gold. There will be a gank attempt, it looks like, coming in from S4 and Fly. But no, instead, they will just try and secure the tier 1 mid. The question is, will TFT try and defend this? It doesn't look like it. I mean, none of the heroes are around, and they realize in terms of net worth, they are behind. To be exact, 3k behind. So it's not worth going for this, and they have to give it away. Although, if we're talking about tier 2s, they will probably have to defend. And actually, Jonas, where did he get Jerax? They end up finding Jerax at the top lane. But perhaps the Chen trying to create some space for his team again, but he will end up losing his life, and this will give the tier 1 option to the side of TFT. And now with the Helm of Dom as well as the Wolves and the Howl, it makes it very, very easy and quick to get that tier 1 tower. The Fadebot will come in and slow things down. Ultimately, they will end up saving it, but you saw how quickly that health went down.
Yeah, I mean, the Lycan really just melts towers at this point, and that's exactly what TFT wants to do. Get the gank off, get an objective off. Just so happens, you know, they didn't manage to do it fast enough. They didn't commit the wolf form for that push, so tower didn't fall. It actually gets saved, and it's not even deny range, so it's going to be standing there for a bit longer for OG.
Let me, John, I'm a bit intrigued. Rezo, he blinks straight into them with the smoke, but he's got a haste rune and he gets the hell out of there. The shards will not connect as well. I believe he did do that on purpose. It's a very nice play coming up from the Storm Spirit, and again, it's another wasted resource from TFT. They can't go for a pick-off now, and this pretty much secures them a tier 2 top if they really want to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate TFT did smoke under their shrine, but OG had ward there, so it's a very easy, you know, it was spotted out by OG, and all Resolution had to do was pop that smoke to stop the gank.
They are going to go for No Tail right now, and they will get the burn strike off. Now the shards come in as well. Can he actually get out of this? He still has the fear on the bear. He hasn't used it quite yet. Now the burrow comes in from the Rubik and Fly. He gets the lift as well, and they're going to find a double here, it looks like. Jonas goes down as well. Frost, meanwhile, had to use the wolf form. He will get out successfully, although Rezo, who else has he found? It was the AA, but he did end up TPing immediately. But very nice rotations coming out from this OG side. I mean, we sit at a 5-4, but the net worth is continually going up for OG. And ultimately, they are taking a lot more objectives.
Yeah, they definitely are. I think the unfortunate thing with TFT right now is their smoke got popped. They were found under the ward, and then after they still chose to chase No-Tail down the bot lane, the issue was that they also OG also had a ward by their shrine, so the movement was really clear. All No-Tail had to do was bait it out, really.
It was a nice little play. It was a bit surprising to me as well. The final try, like you mentioned, the smoke was already broken, but they still try to go for it. Like, you understand the urgency they have right now, because they know how much No-Tail's been farming. And in fact, top lane, they are actually going to jump onto the Lycan and make matters worse for them, because Frost is now dead. S4 reveals the Blink Dagger purchase. And if you look to the other offlane on the other end, Jonas, he hasn't got that Blink yet. He went for the drums first. And although he will have it soon, I mean, this is going to affect his team quite a lot. Who have they got right now? It's just a bunch of creeps. But the tier 2 tower, top lane, is definitely going to go down from the side of OG. In fact, no, it's not. The Ice Blast is apparently enough to ward them off.
Yeah, I mean, they just need to step back a bit, wait for the duration to go off. Then, you know, just throw S4 in front, tank the tower damage, and chip away. It's really easy to melt the towers. The Centaur does return damage to it, so it doesn't really take too long to just push with OG's lineup, and they've really taken a lot off the map now.
Well, they do look like they're trying to go for the bear bot lane. Will they be able to get it? It does look like they will. There was no respawn coming out of No-Tail. He wanted to try and let it survive. Does give 300 gold away to the side of TFT, so maybe a bit of a mistake from him. Nevertheless, he does still have that bear available now. In fact, has he got the Radiance yet? No,
yes.
he's got the money for the Sacred Relic, but it looks like he just wants to buy it all at once rather than, you know, run. Oh, never mind, he does end up getting it.
Yeah, it's a fairly good timing for No-Tail. OG did have to give up that bot tower, but with a Lycan, you know, they're eventually going to lose some objectives. It's a pretty good start for OG anyway. That's a really late T1 coming out from a Lycan draft, and it's a good sign for OG. TFT definitely need to apply some more pressure around the map. Definitely maximize that Lycan every time that Wolf form is off. Just try to get a push going, get an objective. They need to clear out these T1s to get some map control back.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, right? With the Lycan, you can always go for split pushing and things like that, because you take towers so fast. So, TFT, although they are behind, they're never out of this game, it feels like. They've always got the potential to turn it around. And they will actually go for a smoke attempt right now. Bot lane, who will they be aiming for, though? I mean, the only one there is No-Tail, but he appears to know what's going on. And he's past the tier 2 tower. Meanwhile, the Roshan's been taken by OG, and, you know, TFT, if they do realize what's going on, they do want to contest this. And with this Sunstrike, now they'll know. Question is, can they get there in time? Well, they'll roll onto No-Tail bot lane. The Burrow Strike as well as the Ice Blast. He should end up dropping, but the actual rotations here are pretty nice. The lift comes in, and the Burrow coming up from fly onto 2. Now the Lycan, they do end up taking out the bear, but Frost, he is actually low and does end up getting out. So it is a 2-for-1 trade, but it felt so important to take No-Tail down. I do question whether it is a bit too late. I mean, that was the first kill onto the Spirit, onto the Lone Druid.
Yeah, it did feel a bit late. It's still a pretty good pickoff. No-Tail's worth quite a fair bit. And, you know, they managed to get that gold onto their Lycan as well. So, he's, you know, he gets to recover just a little bit. I feel like the issue with TFT right now is that they still haven't really taken much more off the map. They've done some chip damage to that T2 and bot. There's a lot more still standing outside for OG, which they need to take care of. They are trying, and they do have a few key items up on their heroes. I mean, the Necro Book 1 is up in Lycan. The Sand King has his Blink Dagger, and by forcing that gank, they did stop the Roche for a bit. So that's a bit of a win for them.
Absolutely is. But the keyword there is a bit, because OG will end up returning immediately. Can they contest this on TFT? I mean, they've got the Ice Blast, they've got the Epi Burrow combo. with the blink tag on the SK, and it looks like they'll find out fast enough. So this could be a nice little contention coming out from them. If the Ice Blast connects in this pit as well as the Epi Burrow, it could be really disastrous for the side of OG. But the thing is as well, Rezo's just going to blink out immediately. Who are they really going to go for here? Rezo does get sent back to the base. I'll snowball. Who's it on? Only on to nobody. The Roshan is so low. Like, you know both teams cannot let this go any longer. One of them has to take it, otherwise the other will. Rezo, he is back in the mid lane now. In fact, he's got his Bloodstone so soon. It's like he doesn't want to fight before he gets it, but he almost has to now. And they will jump in. Who have they got? They've gone after Pablo on the Tusk. He should just drop quickly, and he does. And without that Tusk, without the shards and the snowball, this feels like a free Roshan for the side of OG.
Yeah, taking out that Tusk definitely makes it much easier to go into that rush. Granted, they still have the Sand King as well, and he is hanging out very close, but it doesn't look like TFT is comfy with contesting now. So the Roshan does go to OG. That's a fairly good pickup for them. Increases their gold lead, and you know, a second life on Resolution would be really big.
It's already hard enough to kill the man. He does end up picking up that full Bloodstone now as well. With that Kaya, I mean, he's going to have a lot of mana to use. We will see what they can do on the side of TFT. But when it gets to this stage, like when OG has every core item they really need to get going. I mean, even the bear, he has Radiance by this point, I'm sure. In fact, where is the bear? It's at bot lane, of course, just split pushing and farming for itself. It's going to be hard. Like TFT, they have to back off a bit, it feels like, and try to get some farm going for themselves. Like the Necro one is decent, but then again, it's 20 minutes in, right? Like it's a bit... Well, actually, no, there's a Necro 3. Never mind, Frost. He does end up making him look ridiculous and does getting it. So, at this point now, I feel like they can go for a good team fight. They will find Rezo. He does actually avoid the stun and now the snowball as well. He's running out of mana though. He has to try and make a run for this, although he's going to fight and wait up the Aegis. And no, there's his teammate. Oh, what a stun from S4! And now the Stampede as well. They're going to make the chase for everyone. There's already 3 down for the side of the Dire Frost. He's running away from all this. But my God, what an absolute beast.
Yeah, I mean, Resolution just jumped in from the side, kind of bait them into chasing him, and all of OG was ready. All of OG was waiting behind that backline. All Resolution did was corral them into a choke point, and S4 just jumps in and, you know, gets a really good stun, wipe 3 heroes, and it's a free push to T3s now.
Yeah, I mean, and it's going to be a fast one at that. Like, you see all the buybacks coming out, and, well, the Chaos Meteor actually might get S4. Now the Epi as well, the Fear was there, and the sendback from Jerax. It's just perfectly placed, and he just TPs immediately back in. He doesn't even care. Like, the coordination coming out from this Radiant side is just perfect at the moment. They've got all the timings right. Jonas tries to go in. Now the snowball as well as the Sunstrike. Can they deal enough damage? The Ice Blast is coming in as well, but it won't hit anyone. Now Fly in the middle of all this. He's still alive, and then, well, they're going to get 1 and 1. Tusk is down as well as the Rubik. Now the Barrage Strike comes out onto 2. The Tornado as well. But Resolution, he's got free reign, and he finds himself a triple kill. He wants to keep going because he has the Aegis as well as 20 Bloodstone charges, and they send it back again. Perfectly placed from Jerax, and this man... I mean, the timing coming out is just absolutely... It's really perfection, John.
It really is. I mean, Resolution was like literally just 1 right click away. A little breeze would have killed him and popped that Aegis, but Jack's timing on this Chen, sending his heroes back right at the perfect moment, has just been on point. Sure, there was that one time in that top gank where he sent Resolution home a bit prematurely, but ever since then, it's just been totally on point. And, you know, that leads OG to be able to take the first set of racks. I mean, at least the first melee racks of the game.
My goodness. Well, like you mentioned, first rack's down, and they're not really stopping, right? Like, the Aegis is still there. There's no real necessity to stop. I mean, the bear is getting low, but the respawn is available. S4, the Barrage Strike will be on Rezo. They will try to shut him down on the Storm, but he will just walk it off. Like, what the hell do you do? The Spirit Bear about to drop. Who have they gone on? They've actually found the Lycan, and there will be a snowball from Pablo, but he ends up going down, so they don't have their carry anymore. Now Pablo, he'll be the next target. Nice fire, and the Ice Blast, and the Chaos Meteor coming out, but it might not be enough. Jonas has to back off a bit. Now Rezo, he still has the Aegis through all this. He does end up going down as well as S4. Can they turn this around from TFT? I don't really know, because Rezo wants to go back in. He will back off, and they'll get another tier 3. Now N0tail, he'll continue pushing this, and in fact, no, he won't. They've had enough for the time being. They've lost S4, so that big tanky frontliner is gone. And TFT, they do end up holding. But they do lose a tier 3 as well as a full racks.
Yeah, it's a really costly hold, but I feel like they did the best they could. It's a really good re-engagement there. The shards trapping them perfectly for the Ice Blast along with the Chaos Meteor. It just did so much.
Oh, they found the SK again, bot lane, and they've got him immediately. Jonas just trying to farm, and this Chen Storm Spirit lineup that they have, you know, he runs out of mana and he gets low on health, and you just send him back. You don't even care about the fact that he has a Bloodstone right now, and he's gonna really heal up in like 5 seconds. Just send him back. Send him back to safety, and there's nothing that the other side of TFT can really do about this. And now Hanska will be the next target. They will snowball onto him. Have they sent the Storm Spirit back? Not quite yet, Rezo. He'll wait around this time. The Sunstrike will actually get Jerax beautifully done, but now S4 with the stun, and Rezo comes in, and they will find him. Even Fly with the Walrus Punch, I believe it was. And I mean, there's already 2 down for TFT. They'll have a respawn for the Sand King. But OG, understanding the momentum right now, do not plan on stopping.
Yeah, and there's no reason for them to stop as well. They've got everything online. They're 18k ahead. They've taken 1 racks, 2 tier 3s. N0tail's basically been free farming the entire game. Resolution has been going wild. 23 charges on his Bloodstone, so, and you know, Jerax as well to send him home every single time to recharge. There's really no reason to stop for OG. They don't need, you know, Roche is not going to come up anytime soon, so all they can do is play here.
Oh, top lane. They might find Rezo. He's got the Ice Blast, but he will end up zipping out. He did go in there to help the Spirit Bear out. And mind you, we do see N0tail. He does have the Aghanim Scepter now. Chaos Meteor again onto the Spirit Bear, but it's not going to kill him off. And they will actually end up sending it back. And this is just a crazy good combination from OG, right? Because you send the bear back, he heals up, and then N0tail can just recall it back to him immediately.
Yeah, that synergy is really strong. I mean, just having the bear safely go home and come back in to fight again, it's really good. And we've seen Jerax just do so much work in this game. Like, absolutely. The only reason that OG's been able to get away with so much is because they haven't dropped in these big key engagements. They don't drop any cores. So it's really paying off, this Chen pick, and a lot of you know, the ability to send Resolution home as well. It's really enabled by the fact that that T1 on mid is still up. So when Resolution TP's back in, he's not too far away from the engagement. So having that objective still standing is really hurting TFT right now.
Well, Resolution's currently sitting at a 12-2. He's got 23 Bloodstone charges, so he's incredibly hard to kill. And he just picked up a Lincoln Sphere. So you've got to, you know, try and cancel that off before you go for the stun. I mean, it's not looking great for TFT, to be perfectly honest. They might find themselves a Spirit Bear, though. The Walrus Punch is there, and this should be a dead bear. Should be at the very least. The Cold Feet will come in as one. No, apparently not. He'll walk away with 100 HP. And I cannot believe they didn't get the finish on that.
I mean, if you're TFT right now, after being baited so many times by OG, would you really chase a Spirit Bear up a ramp?
Well,
they could be
John,
waiting down there.
I would, but I'm not TF. I'm not a pro player, right? So, you know, a moron like me probably would, but obviously they're much smarter. So they don't do it. It looks like they will go for a smoke on the side of OG. Question is, who do they jump on first? The Stampede available again. You've got Rezo ready to jump in. 4. for a pick off the bear. Again, baiting now. The snowball comes in, and this could be it. They do go straight onto Pablo, and without this task, there's going to be no shards available. Now Rezo goes straight in for the Invoker. The wolf form has been committed, but the Invoker's dropping so much damage. Now the Epicenter as well as the burrow, but the heal's coming in. Rezo, he's getting cold snap, but he will walk out of this alive. And Jerax trying to help out. Now the snowball comes in again, and the Sand King, it was actually from Fly with the snowball. Jerax will end up dropping, so they're defending quite well right now from TFT. And S4 will end up dropping as well. Rezo, though, he'll come back in. He wants to help out a bit. He can find some kills. Hanskin, he will end up going down, and Rezo will back off. There was a double damage. Meanwhile, No Tail was ratting, and he finds another Rax. The fear is there. Jonas, he will back off. He can't really do this alone. Frost, he's apparently in the mid lane and ends up going down just to resolution. They're going to get the Spirit Bear by the looks of it, so they get a little win. But they're so close to getting megged, and it looks like No Tail is not planning to back off anytime soon.
Yeah, that's a really good hold from TFT. I mean, it's the best hold they could probably have hoped for. They didn't get wiped out immediately. They managed to hold on to their last set of racks, but it's really the last... I want to say it's almost like the last stand. And, you know, their draft hasn't been paying off yet. The Lycan's only taken, what, 3 objectives off the map from OG. Like, they take the top T1, bot T1, bot T2, but that mid is still up. Shrines are still up because you can't take in T3s, and that's still a lot of map control for OG, which they've really been maximizing with the Chen and Storm Spirit.
Yeah, and you've got to give it to Fly as well in that Rubik. Like, he's always managing to find the perfect abilities to use, right? He's always got a Burrow Strike or a Snowball available, and it's making it really hard on TFT, and this is why you see the first pickup of the Rubik when they draft. They do end up getting the Aegis. The cheese is apparently just left there for the time being. Rezo will grab that for himself. TFT, the question is now, can they hold? They're never out of the game until that Ancient falls. But against Meg... Oh, actually, have they jumped on the Sand King again? Yes, they have. They found him. And, well, Jonas is gone. Rezo is just... He's got Hawkeyes right now. He's just looking for the next target. The Rax top lane will be the target as well. And there's a BKB available on the Spirit Bear. They just want the Megas. It is a slow but effective siege. They will go in, and Rezo, he goes straight onto the Invoker as well as the S4 era. He's going to be in big trouble. Can they take him out? Of course they can. He's gone. Meanwhile, we see at the top lane that Lycan has also been caught out. The root was there. Pablo, he'll be the next target. S4, he can't actually blink right now, but here comes Rezo. Era drops the Chaos Meteor, but it does absolutely nothing. Hanskin trying to back off as well. There's no buybacks left. The Invoker did end up buying back, but that's it, and they call GG well played. I mean, there's no way to defend this anymore, and John, I mean, I would say they got outplayed, but I think it's more like outdrafted.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it. I mean, OG managed to open the Rubik, which they love, the Chen, which they've been running recently, and they closed it out with the Storm, which did so much work.